Hello everyone and welcome to another free webinar from ITeLearn. This is Karthik. So what we wanted to do today was very simply help out our JPACT, Selenium Certified Developer Training, Selenium Live Training and Selenium Live Project members through the next steps for the job hunt and interviews. Over the past couple of months, many members have joined these programs that we have. JPACT is primarily our job placement and certified training. This specific program is an all-inclusive training with job assistance. And what we kind of went through with creating this program is for anyone in looking in the IT industry, specifically software testing, who are either not yet entered the industry or who are looking to extend their career growth in the current software testing industry. We've built this program specifically for them. So right from beginners to advanced. And this means that all access to the ITeLearn training programs. Now, one of the things that we do as part of this is we conduct very regular surveys. This is done through email and phone calls to our members. And what we have done in this is try to see where are they in accomplishing the goal or vision that they've created or built around this entire program that we created. Because end of the day, if our students are not successful, it does not matter. And the most important questions are, did it help? Did you get the job? Can we help you with the job if not? That's primarily the simplest way of talking about uh, what we ask as feedback. And our team at ITeLearn constantly reaches out to try and identify areas of improvement and so on. And that is what we kept doing. Now, it's also important for me to talk about the certified Selenium developer training a little bit and what we were doing there. This is for most of the members who are not part of, who've not been part of the system yet. And then I can come back to talk about how we can take you all, at least our JPACT, CSDT, and Selenium Live Training project members, to the next level. Certified Selenium Developer Training is a shorter, focused version of what is the top requirement in the QA industry. It talks about how you can become a Selenium developer. It talks about automation specifically. It talks about Selenium WebDriver. It does emphasize on coding and gets you the hands-on experience. It also talks about the certification through AnyAUT. Now, I do also need to mention about AnyAUT because AnyAUT is not just a product just a product that we are actively marketing to you. It is the sum total of all our efforts in at ITeLearn so far for automation. No, for QA, manual and automation both. Testing. And I'll talk about that in a little while. So, certification through AnyAUT. Now, what do I mean by that? We're talking about two certifications, AnyAUT Certified Tester and AnyAUT Certified Developer. What we did as part of AnyAUT Certified Tester is if you are an AnyAUT Certified Tester, that means you know the QA fundamentals, you know how test SDLC slash SLTC works, you know how to manage a test, work with a test management tool, and you can build and write, build test artifacts on AnyAUT that are ready for automation. So just being an AnyAUT certified tester, and when you get to interviews specifically, or you put something in your resume, what happens is you are given an opportunity to present yourself well, and you have a project experience that you can show. And when you speak in an interview or in your resume, what you write, you're automatically talking about something very practical and hands-on, not just a theoretical training that you went through. So when we start with CSDT, Certified Selenium Developer Training, we start with manual testing. What are test management tools? What are the different types of models of SDLC, defect management, traceability metrics? How do we write use cases? What is a behavior-driven development? What are the popular tools like HP ALM or Jira or Bugzilla in the market? And then we talk about AnyAUT as a tool, how it is compared to it, and so on. So you've already built this. So the sum total of being AnyAUT certified tester is absolute pure and sheer confidence that you can go and talk in an interview that for a manual testing, you are highly skilled. Not necessary that all of you have the enough number of years of experience, but you now have a very good start. Now, when it comes to AnyAUT certified developer, we take it to one level extra. We talk about Selenium, we talk about specifically WebDriver, core Java, JUnit slash TestNG. We talk about automation frameworks very extensively. We talk about how we work in the current scenario of continuous integration and continuous delivery, and how we put the whole framework together. Code level understanding of AnyAUT. So what this means is if you are an AACD, you can be qualified to work in most, I would not even put it as 99.1, I would put it as 99.5%. Is this a market tested number? No, but We know the kind of skill that we are building, and we know what kind of an effect it has done to our audience. And this we collect just not from our students, but also from the market, industry, from our competitors, and so on, to be sure of what this is, of the automation testing projects. Why? Because you are qualified to work on these projects. You have the right skill, background, technical in depth, the hands-on expertise to write something, and so on. One second, team. There was someone who's correcting me saying that I was supposed to write software testing life cycle instead of SLTC, STLC. I wrote SLTC. Thank you, Ruxana, for correcting me there. Cool. So, certified Selenium developer training puts all of these things together. And what we also added to this is, as part of continuous integration and continuous deliveries, Maven, Jenkins, GitHub, how do we work with it, and how do we do a lot of more advanced automation testing and project execution for continuous integration, continuous delivery, how we've used Trello for project management. Then we also have covering tools like Cucumber, uh, robot framework, to an extent that it helps you compare how these tools are in the market to AnyAUT, and then you have a complete wide range of skill. Now, the whole concept revolves around live projects in this case. Concept, when I say, is how important is it for us to evolve at the end of it for live projects? One quick minute, team. I would like to at this point pause and see if there are any questions. So we are clear about what we're trying to do. We are still on the job hunt plus interviews, but for me to arrive there, it is very important that I cover a little background and then come to it, please. Just a few very preliminary questions, team, that I'm taking through the chat. So, team, the questions like very basic. Is the yesterday's session on HP UFT video available now in the website? Team, to answer such questions, you can totally be connected with us in the social network, our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page, our YouTube channel. All the free sessions that we do, we upload directly on YouTube, all the free sessions. So you don't even have to wait for us. Have you made it? Have you recorded it? Have you sent for it? The reason I'm very critical sometimes in my answers is very simple, team. The smartness that we show talks about how well or resourceful an individual will be in the project. Right now, there are almost about 55, 60 people who are working in the AnyAUT development team at my Hyderabad center overall. And then this is how I have to motivate them as well. Guys, go find the solutions. Try and ask lesser questions to others. The reason is when we go struggle, find a solution, it becomes easy. So just go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. You'll automatically get most of the answers. Done my BCA, can I get job? Cool. I will answer that question. Can you a little more about AnyAUT? Yeah, I will. I won't. I don't think I'll do justice a whole lot, but I will cover a few things. So the live projects, what it does, team, continuing on that is, and then we'll again break for questions. I want this session to be very interactive. It's just not me speaking, please. Is total hands-on, is total real projects, actual projects that require actual testing and that are referenceable, in the sense once you put them in your resume, you can refer your team lead, your team members, the project manager, uh, as part of the fact that yes, I've worked here. You build lot of trust and confidence internally, and it shows during interviews. Now, coming to the main part of the agenda as to job hunt plus interviews, we will talk about how you can go about being successful if you have gone through these phases. One feedback team that I wanted to very genuinely provide is I've seen some excellence, and I rarely use such kind of a word in praising someone in the previous Selenium Live project. The skill level that the teams have showcased, almost about 50 members, 5 teams, each of them started executing. We were left with maybe about 25-30 members working full time on a Selenium Live project, and the way they have advanced in building frameworks, works in using Jenkins, Maven's, TestNG frameworks, running executions through pom.xmls, scheduling tests, scheduling build runs, creating page factory, page object models, just absolutely beautiful. Now, with that kind of skill, needs uh, to get placed immediately. So, what could be the reason? And it will be an open question to everyone, team. I want you to give me feedback as to why have you not yet got placed. For those of you who have got placed into a project, into a job, phenomenal. For those of you who have not yet got placed, I would love to know as to what happened with you all. Where are you stuck? What could probably be the reason? Whatever be it, time, lack of time, and so on. Can you take 30 seconds and put what it could be? This is more specifically for our JPACT members, CSDT members, Selenium Live project and training members. What is stopping? Holidays, travel, whatever be it. Can you just take 30 seconds and put that information for me, please? And team, be as honest as you want to, because of 2 reasons. One, I'm not going to take your name when I read out the feedback. Second is I don't see you, so I don't know who you are. Doesn't matter, so you don't have to be shy. Be very, very candid about it. I've got a few of them. I'm going to try and quickly go through them and share. Still not confident. That's one team. So let me just write down few of those keywords. Confidence. And this is the specific reason I'm having this session. Resume is not effective. That means that we're not getting the calls. Lesser practical, hands-on experience is low. Hands-on exposure is low. Many years back, so there's a gap. How do we cover the gap? Lesser practical hands-on knowledge. Resume is not very effective. Many years back, I'm just trying to make sure I'm looking at everything, team. Just came back in India, looking job, very specific location constraint. We have a location constraint. Fearing about interviews. Just want to complete the CSDT project to build confidence to face interviews. So not yet ready. Wow, so many. I'm so thankful, team, for all your um, feedbacks here. And this is most important. So I want to address them. This is end of it. These are the things that we would like to change. Overwhelmed. Wow. I'm glad we're doing this session today. I'm sorry, I only have one screen, so having to move the screen around. Overwhelmed. Keywords. I'm feeling about interviews. Need more hands-on. Haven't started marketing my resume yet as a Selenium developer. So we'll talk about resume marketing too. But revision is getting better. Lack of enough practice. Um, Not in the market yet. Little bit. I'm using Cucumber Selenium at work. That's a good sign. Thank you so much. I've not put much efforts to practice due to family commitments. Hence, did not do any job hunt. Family. And team, it's a very honest statement. Family can be supportive for all our endeavors. At the same time, we also feel very highly responsible of our availability. I travel so often, be away from my family. It hurts me personally, but professionally, I'm sacrificing right now because my vision is very clear. Let's see a few more things, team. Applied for EAD extension, will get it shortly. Visa, yeah. That's so important too, right? Visa, work permit. When I say visa, I also mean work permit. Some people are expecting not to use my brain. Wow, this is phenomenal. Not to use my brain. I'm writing more words than just a keyword here because the power of the statement is critical for you to understand the ground reality of the industry. The industry kind of evolves and they put a lot of hard work in creating something and they expect to you to follow the protocol and what structure or frameworks or automation projects they've created rather than trying to come up with new ideas. And I totally agree to a certain extent as a business owner. At the same time, there should be a balance between using what we have to being creative. Creative is always innovating and developing new things. Let me see last few and then we'll let me start talking about the lack of time and currently on JPACT training. That's fine. Explaining automation experience to interviewer. So explaining another keyword. Also need guidance on how to project, showcase our skills in resume and interviews. Yes, I've written that. I wanted job based on my career in software field, but I always get job in call center. Not yet got any startup company nor top MNC. So there, I've stuck there. Sad truth. And then this is what training should do to help us go over these roadblocks. Need to adapt to CI/CD. Okay, so CI/CD is another keyword because the industry uses, we are supposed to understand and master it. Also need guidance on how to project and showcase. Okay, sorry, where I'm a JPAC member. I took a break for summer, still couldn't able to get everything. That's fine. So gap and break, looking for an opportunity to use those skills. So you looking for project work. And team, all this focus right now that I'm doing is for existing members, but it's also a good place for the new participants, new entries who are coming into the program or currently into it to look at. H4 visa, so long gap. I haven't had luck with one phone call from a recruiter. Maybe I have no experience in this industry as I'm switching to IT from another industry. No experience, not paying full attention on the practicing the trainings and dropping out of live project and hence not able to move forward. Sure. So time is being a big constraint too. Most of the testing jobs are on automation. That's a fact. Not familiar with companies' terminology. Terminology. I think I wrote about gap or time being a challenge. See, I didn't know all these factors, team. Now I can address them and try and create something additional to our program. I have to work on real projects so that I can feel confident enough about my skills to put that on my resume. Yes, got a job through though accepted manual QA, need more experience in automation. So this is the other um, caveat that keeps coming out, that trained in automation, working in QA manual, and that's absolutely fine. Believe me, that's one of the goals that we need to try and achieve. Last three team, and then I'll go about addressing each of them. Maybe they're looking for someone who can hit the ground running. Yep, totally true. In some interviews, they're expecting skills like having core developer, then Selenium developer skills, core developer. That's called shift left, part of shift left concept. It is also about being more developer versus tester. When I say tester, both manual and automation. Last one team, and then we'll talk about each of them. References for experience as new in field. Okay, cool. References. I don't think we've missed any challenge, right? Now we know the entire game. I'm going to talk about them, team, very quickly, but at length and depth, each of them. But then I will request my team to kind of document it so they can share it with you as a document as well on each of these challenges that we face and how we can overcome them. The reason is it'll take me too long for me to type. The first one, word, confidence. How do we get confidence, team? The only way is by working on something, by doing something repeatedly, and then we get better and better. Be it driving, be it cooking, be it working, be it even being a dad or a mom for a newborn. How do we get confidence that we can carry? How do we get any kind of confidence that we can talk in front of others? Just by doing it. One of the biggest things, team, that is a roadblock to confidence is the fear of failing. When we have the fear of failure, we can never get confidence. When you love the fear of failure, that is when you start building confidence. That is when we get to the next level each time, each day, each minute. That is when we can stand in front of anyone and say, oh, you know what? I am not sure about this particular area, but given my background, my expertise of being a fighter in life, I can pick it up. Now, how do you get that confidence? If you don't have the right challenges, then you cannot. Our live projects will give that to you. You don't just work as a training, you work with a team, you work on a project, you come present. We sit here and we review your project work, we look at how you have done, and then we give you very, very candid and critical feedback. That feedback should be taken positively and giving you a chance to improve on those areas. Repeat, if not one project, repeat one more project. All right. So confidence is all about stepping over the fear of failure to loving failures, trying to experiment risk at a learning stage, and how you can get more opportunities to present yourself in that area. Anything, like I said, any skill. All right. Resume. Your resume typically talks about you, team. Now, let us say that resume has two purposes. One is to be found for that initial phone call where someone calls you, be it a consulting company, end client, HR, technical recruiter, or even someone who's looking for part-time job, short-term contract, full-time contract. They have to find you where? In the job boards, in LinkedIn, in different social networks, or through references. And how will you show up? By having the right resume with all the possible correct keywords that display your skill. Now, when I write my resume, there are two things I make sure. One, I talk about briefly about all the things I know. I will not leave any keyword, very important team, any keyword out of it. But then I will emphasize and expand on my core strength and ability. That is what a resume should be. The purpose of a resume is not to get a job. The day we try and put that getting the job is the only point, we are failing the process. The process is building the skill, building the right experience, creating the right confidence internally, creating the right resume, marketing it correctly, getting through interviews, getting the job, and then being successful at it. 8 steps, team. If you think about only one thing, then you're not successfully finishing everything. You have 8 milestones to achieve. You have 8 different subjects. So your resume should contain all the keywords, like I said. Basic skills, whatever you are aware of, no, should be mentioned. Your core ability should be expanded to be found. Then the second part of a resume is about how do we get the interviewer to speak about your resume, rather ask questions from your resume. You want them to ask questions based on what they see and read. One of the most simplest ways is, let us say I have 3 years of industry experience, but hardly 5 steps to write. Yes, I do test management. I run automation tests. I sit every night. I work hard. I have 500 test cases to run. Daily, routine, monotonous job. Or I have a project that I did for 3 months, but you have 2 pages to write. That I've built framework, I've worked with an aggressive team, we faced challenges, we implemented this tool, that technology. You have such a big story to tell. So resume, first one should get you that interview call. Resume, the second one, should create an ambience for the interviewer to ask you the right questions that you can explain about. That is where the resume is. And we already have some great videos as part of a JPACT program that helps you through all this process. How you should make the right resume, what are the templates you can use, everything, team. And we also assist you into it. Next one, team, hands-on. When we mean hands-on, what is it? I need to code. I need to work on a tool, be it even tool like Jira or Bugzilla or HPALM or Selenium or HPUFT. You still need to work. For this, there's only one thing, team, commitment. And it comes totally from your side. Hands-on is in your hand, totally in your hand. There's no external guidance that can help you with hands-on. Why? Because at least our program is total hands-on. When we teach, we expect you to go back and learn, practice on the same thing. Why do you think, sorry, team, let me quickly connect after this statement. Why do you think in my trainings, I do not share the code every day? Because I want people to go back, watch the video and write the code. If I give the code, you will copy that code, paste it and try and execute it. I totally decline to send any code immediately. After end of the training or end of one project, I'll say, okay, here is the code. But during the project, I won't, because you have to look at the video and write it yourself. Even if you're looking and writing, that is fine. A lot of times when you go shopping, team, you don't write down anything. Then there are times when you forget some things. But Other times you write it down on a post-it, take it for shopping, but never have to look back again. Why? When you wrote it with your eyes, with your hands, with your mind, it is also registering inside, internally. You don't have to go back and refer. That is hands-on team. Totally in your hands. You need to have the commitment. You need to get there. Team, I'm going to take a quick break, just 30 seconds to get my charging back. And if there are questions that still come, hold on to it. We'll have a good Q&A after this. Sorry, I'm back. Hopefully no more interruptions. Um, I had to put the charging. I didn't want to lose the power for this important session. All right. So hands-on team, like I said, in your hand, your commitment. Let's work on that. Gap. How do you cover gap, team? One thing as an ethical practice that I have built in my life and I'm very proud of is I don't lie. I don't want to put something that is not true. But at the same time, you can put what is true in a big way. People say that if you lie loud enough, it may become the truth, or people will think that it's a truth. I look at it the other way. If there's truth, be loud. The reason I have this kind of a voice or confidence when I speak is because I know I don't speak anything that is false, that is incorrect or unethical. So from a gap point of view, don't try to work on filling the gap with false projects. Work on creating the right skill, right project experience, and then expand it into one and a half, 2 page in your resume. That is enough, team. It's very much enough. So that is the easiest solution that I can think of for gap. Location. What about location? It's very tough, team. For example, if I'm in Los Angeles, I live there in LA. It's tough for me to relocate to New Jersey because there's better career growth, or it's good for the company, or to Bay Area, or to India. I'm right now stuck. But then there is certain compromise that you can do. There are options like telecommuting. That is where you need to prioritize your life. As of today, what is important? As of 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, what will become important? So should I think about the short-term pain and not take the effort of taking an opportunity that is far away? Or should I look at the long-term benefit and take that initial call? What I mean to say is, why don't you compromise that 6 months? If it is to do weekend travel, go there, stay in a hotel for 4 days, 4 nights a week, come back to your family during weekends, and keep doing this for 6 months. What is harming you? Your personal life is affected, but you're building a great future for your own personal, for your own family, for yourself. You're spending more time and money, that is fine, but you're getting the exposure that you want. So this is where we need a trade-off. So location also is in your hand, at least to begin with. Once we accept what we have, then we can get what we want. Once we're good at doing what we are given, even be it a challenge, then God starts giving us the gift of, okay, now you're good at this, I'll keep giving you this. But then you'll start loving challenges so much that you'll keep enjoying it. Interviews. Okay. From an interview standpoint, there's nothing much to talk, at least for my JPACT and CSDT members or Selenium members. You should automatically do very well. There is no question about it. The only reason you may get into an interview and fail is because you are not feeling confidence. Then it's a problem, team. Then it becomes a big challenge. The only way I can convince you to build confidence is what you've done as part of this training, or the project work, or all the practice that you've done is significantly much more advanced than at least 80% of the software testing and automation industry, because most of them are stuck with very basic. They say they have automation project, they don't use it. They say they have a framework, It does not work. They say they'll put you into automation job, they'll put you into manual job. So what you've learned in the training is uh, by far much more superior than what you will see in the industry. If you work in an automation lab, a true automation lab, then you are going into a stage where you're enhancing it to the next stage, next level. And from that matter, AnyAUT project is an automation lab. That is an automation lab. And once you're on AnyAUT project, you are on par with the top notch in the industry. No question about it. So interviews is only one thing. How do you show confidence? How do you speak correctly about what you've done? And how to speak in an interview, what to say, what not to say, the few tips. One tip that I believe, team, going back to interviews is this. The moment I realize that I am the one speaking more than the interviewer, my job is almost confirmed. How do I do that? I want the interviewer to ask a question that I will take and relate it to my experience and elaborate on it. The interview comes with that I want to ask 20 questions, but lot of successful interviews will end in 5 6 questions, even unsuccessful ones. In those 5 6 questions, the decision is made. Why? Because the way you've spoken about those 5 6 initial questions is enough. Now, let's say they ask you about something. Have you worked on a keyword driven framework? You'll say, no, I have not. But then what I did is I worked on another project where I implemented a keyword driven framework, or some of my team members were working. What I focused was a data driven framework. And in that data driven framework, I did this section. I did this part. If they ask about Jenkins, say that Jenkins I didn't get an opportunity to use. But then given a chance, I will definitely learn it, because so far I've been successful in my career through this experimentation of learning constantly. Team, quick pause to check. Are you all with me? Are we all on the same page? We need another 10 15 minutes at least to ensure that I give you the right feedback and motivation to go into this challenging world, extremely crowded and challenging world. Team, we need to put our best foot forward. All right, thank you, team, thank you. I have you all. Okay, not ready. What do you mean not ready? We're never ready. Believe me, I am never ever ready. Are we strong enough, good enough, confident enough, well prepared enough, trained enough experience? That's it. Never think about this from an 100%, because even today we develop so many applications, websites, graphics. I write an email today, then I try and review it tomorrow. I always see some improvements. So what I decide is it good enough to move forward or not as of today? Always never aim for excellence. If once you start aiming for excellence, the goal is far away. Aim for moving forward. Aim for being ready. Ready does not mean that I'm totally ready. So I'm ready, yes, but my sandwich is in the hand. My tie is not yet tied, not yet together. My lace are not tied, but I can do it on the way. You're still ready to start. That's it. Okay. So don't overemphasize on being ready. It's not important. Okay. How do I answer about overwhelmed? Too many things to do and so on. The easiest way, um, it's a very emotional statement from my side, team, is to have the right guru. Because when you don't have the right guru, you look at all the problems in the world around you. You cannot focus on the goal that you need, which is in front of you. The simplest example is the story of Arjuna. When asked, he says, all I see is the eye of the fish, not the tree, not the wind, not the bird, nothing else. Once that focus is clear, once the vision is straight, absolute 1080p, 4HK, 4K quality, that's it. You don't have to be overwhelmed. This becomes a very small word. I get overwhelmed many times in a day, team. And then how do I correct myself? The vision that I have, the clarity that I have, and then prioritize as to what I can do. I cannot build everything in a day. I need time. Either I have to get more time, or I have to do only little bit as much as I can every day. And like I said, very emotional because my dad sees me working very, very hard. And then he says, how do you manage so much? I really feel very empathetic with you that you work too hard and you have to do so many things and so on. And I tell Dad, listen, I'm doing lot of things, small progress every day. Progress is important, not being overwhelmed that and sitting, breaking my head that, you know what, I give up. Because this is the stage when people can give up. You need to really have some kind of an inspiration and be very focused, accomplish small things every day. You'll be fine. Practice is easy, team. We have enough projects. You have enough projects even if you don't do training here. Or for practice, you just need again to sit down and start doing. See, all of them are boiling down to some simple points. There's nothing, no rocket science, nothing new that I'm telling at all so far. It is all you've heard from everywhere. Your Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp is crowded with these kind of motivational statements. But then, how can we put them into practice is important. You just start working. You decide, I want to do it, start doing it. That's it. Market. Market is very, like I said, once your vision is clear, you're confident of your skill and so on, you should, the market should come to you. You don't have to go to the market. That is how confident you need to be, team. Family, like I said, team, earlier, is the most important thing for me. There is nothing more important in my whole life than my family. My wife, my kids, my parents, my sisters, and then the extended family with them. Next comes my team that I work with. Someone asked me one time that Karthik, you've been successful in business, you've earned money, do you do charity? I thought at that time, did I actually, am I doing charity? And I realized, no, I've never done charity. Then I thought, oh, wait a minute. I will not say charity, but I look at priority and I first help my family. Then I help the people who have trusted and put their time and efforts in my work. And that is, if I left with anything, then I can think about it. So be very mean, be very selfish, be very towards the family or whatever is your priority in life. For me, family is everything. And I'm very clear about it. There is no second thought into it. Though I travel, though I'm away from my kids or I'm from my parents at every time, it's okay. I'm managing it. I'm managing it. Who is struggling here most? My family is balanced, but I am the one struggling. So you compromise. You compromise. You realize I have a kid 3 months old. No problem. Now it is hurtful to put them to a nanny or to put them to a daycare. But then what are you building for them after 2 years? When they're getting to school, where can you buy a home that is a great school district? Why can't we think on those lines? Why do we always think about short-term pains and not long-term possibilities, team? All right. Now, visa is, you know, some things are so easy to answer. It's not in your hand. You have a work permit or visa, or you don't. That's it. You have an on-site opportunity to go abroad, or you don't. I struggled when I had a chance. I didn't go to US for my masters when I finished my engineering. Every other classmate of mine went because I came from one of the top engineering colleges. I didn't. I refused because I wanted to stay back with my parents. I refused. I stayed back in Hyderabad for 4 5 years. And then when I wanted to go, I could not. I struggled. Opportunity striked me. It striked. and then I took it and I went and I made the best use of it. So it's all about you do the right things and you expect for the best. So here, if you have a visa, great. If you don't have a visa, what do? Don't fold your hands and sit. Practice, work on it. But the other advantage is you can do some remote jobs, work from home. You'll have work permit in some country, not the other. You're at least a citizen of one country. Work from there, or say you're there, and you create your income in that country rather than where you want to. QA on Air is one platform that will help. I hope I'm answering the questions aptly, team, for all of this. Sorry for the background honk noise. Um, Last few days in this visit of Hyderabad, and city is just buzzing, and there's so much activity here. Not to use my brain. Yeah, this is a challenge, team, and this is good. This is fine. It is you adapting to the current situation and atmosphere at work and trying to put what they have put the sweat in and invested the time, money, energy, resources, people into, rather than coming very innovative. So the right balance between your creativity and accepting and implementing what is already there is very important, team. We cannot always create a Tesla, or we cannot, everyone of us cannot take all the risks and become an Elon Musk or a Steve Jobs. That's fine. At least balance it till you get an opportunity to become or do what you want, and you'll get your chance. Don't worry. But the way you can keep sharpening is do something very innovative on the side, and that's maybe participating in something like AnyAUT 2. Explaining is what? Communicating, talking. About what? About yourself, about the project. How will you be better at anything? By by practicing and keep doing it. How can you just stand in the mirror and every time do it? It's tough. So be in a project with us, a live project. If not one, another one. If not two, third. If not three, four. But finally you'll be successful. Finally you become better. Go for it. The process could be long. The process should not be painful. The process should be fun. We will make sure that the process is fun and it will not be painful. It may be long for some of you, may not be long for others. That's fine. We will get to a good level. No one has ever been at top always, team. There's always been mountains, there's always been valleys. There have been ups and downs. We just have to go through it. To explain, you just need to practice more and more through training, through projects, through friends, family, team. Keep talking. The best way I have learned to become good at something is I keep talking a lot about my vision. I keep on, whenever I get a chance, I'll talk about my vision, what I want to do in life, what is it that I want to be. It just gives me clarity, it just gives me confidence. Someday I have the right opportunity. At that time, I should not fail in explaining what it is. People kept telling me these statements. I got tired and then I left it. Someday it struck me and I kept doing it. CI/CD, we are covering it, so don't worry too much. Project work, we are covering it. So again, not to be worried. Time is the most important thing. I think there's nothing called time, team. Sometimes it's just priority. It's always priority. It's always managing time. You don't create time, you don't buy time, you don't get time, you don't build time. You just manage time, because God has given one thing equally to everyone, that is called time. He must have been unequal in terms of distributing wealth or respect or position or whatever be it. But one thing that is uniquely given to everyone is time. I try and work very hard, and I don't feel guilty when I'm doing the right thing. I feel good because my priority is family. That is most important for me. Then maybe my health. So, but what I have to do in priority order, if I keep cribbing, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, is no point. Equally, we all have the same number of hours a day. We just have to learn to manage it. It only comes through practice. Let's start small, we can build it. Terminology is very easy. You know what we will do? We'll create a simple cheat sheet of terminologies. How many will there be? 20, 50, 100? maximum 200 words. What do they mean? That's it. You don't have to be an expert at it. At least you're aware what it is. Next one, trained in automation, working in manual. Here is what I used to say to him in my earlier days of being a trainer. That listen, even if you apply for a manual testing job, for one position, let's assume there are 100 people applying. Now, how will someone interview 100 people for one position? It's very tough. So what they have to do, screen at the resume level. Then they'll say, okay, you know what, this person knows automation testing. This person can do coding also. Let me talk to them. So getting trained in what you're doing right now does not have to mean that you have to land in an automation job. So your passion has to take sometimes backseat team. Your priorities have to come first. Then your passion will follow. Then you keep pursuing your passion on the side. Let's say you're passionate for coding and automation. That's fine. But getting trained and prepared in automation does not mean that you'll not work in manual testing team. This is the hard reality of the industry. That is why AnyAUT as a tool that we built switches very easily between manual and automation. It can do both. Someone wants to do only manual, fair enough. Automation, sure, why not? Um, you are generating the best edge possible to work on automation. But then even if you get an opportunity in manual testing, take it. Someday you'll be able to convert to automation. You can at least be more confident of getting a job being automation trained for a manual testing job than fighting with the 90 other people who are just pure manual testers. All right, did you all understand the point? Shift left. I don't know what question was for me to relate to this, but shift left is basically a concept where testing has come later in a life cycle. Like we start with a pain problem, then we get to some kind of a requirements, then we do a functional design, technical design, coding, testing, deployment. So testing is coming very late in that order. So let's start move the testing thing leftwards towards the pain. Hey, can we start doing testing at the very beginning rather than later once the product is developed? Because we may do it faster, more effective, we're using our time correctly, and so on. Wise, absolutely logical call. Then came behavior driven development, saying that, you know what, let's start writing user stories. Let's start writing epics about what and how things should be done. And then let's correct them even before it gets to documented to be a requirement and so on. And a lot of this we are covering in what we do in our training team. Developer versus tester. That's why I didn't stop saying Selenium automation testing as a training program and start calling it certified Selenium developer training. Yes, they want more developers than testers. They don't want Selenium testers, they want developers. Sure, with this kind of a platform, you have to be a developer. You're not just anyone else. Sorry, team. Reference. Reference is what? Someone you worked with, someone who can vouch for you, who can give a good feedback about you. If there's a bad reference, you'll never provide, correct? Even I wouldn't do it. Why risk it? Let's focus on the good references. And that is not the lying. But then how do you get references? Through our live projects, you do get references because there is a project name, there's a project manager, there's a business owner, there is a QA manager, there's a QA lead, there are your team members. It's an actual real project. So should be no challenge about a reference thing. All right, great. So I've taken too long, but I hope I've covered most of it. And I will be happy to take any questions that are further there, team. I know I took a long time today. There are a few more things that we need to share with you that I don't think we have enough time for the day. But very important announcement is one, we about AnyAUT development, because like I said, AnyAUT is the sum total of everything, and that is why we focused, right? We earlier did what we called as AnyAUT beta. In that, there were a lot of defects and bugs that came out from the market when people started using, and we corrected it, and we launched something called as AnyAUT Orange as the first version. We have not gone very explicitly in the public world to showcase that, but anyauth.com/orange is the link to the new app. It is good enough for you to start working on. We're still making improvements. This was part of an emergency release. There were a few clients seeking for it, so we had to start working. The next version is called AnyAUT Peach. There are many more features, advancements in this, and this we will be starting very shortly, team. Very shortly. So when I'm saying shortly, day 2, 3, 4 days, something like that kind of time frame. And for those of you who wanted to work on AnyAUT Orange emergency release, I could not because we needed something in close proximity from the office, and I had to travel specifically for that purpose. One of the most important things. Now, Peach is fine. We want to take it in 3 month cycle, um, plan it very well, go back to the drawing board, start right from the concept design, rewrite the whole code if needed, and come up with the best product. So for Peach, you are welcome to be an intern, and it is this it's going to happen very soon. Like I said, I'm traveling this Monday back to US. So uh, it's either going to happen the first call this week or early next week, and I'll invite all of you to participate. But then for Peach and so on, I only want to involve my JPACT C and CSDT and Selenium members. Will be very tough for me to involve outsiders to work on the project. The only reason is we cannot train you now. We want you to start working, and if you need to enhance your training, no problem, you can go back to the videos and watch them at that time. That's the thing about AnyAUT Peach. There's the last announcement that my team wanted to make was about the schedule of upcoming trainings. I will share that in the in an email, team. But what I want to do is have you uh, your questions answered, whatever further questions you have. Um, and then I'm going to put all the hands down for now. And if you want to be unmuted, then raise your hand, please, on GoToWebinar um, on the application itself. How can we join? Maria, very simple. My team will collect the list of everyone in JPACT, CSDT, and Selenium that have interacted with the, not interacted, are with us so far, the premium members at ITeLearn. There'll be a few thousands, and we'll send it to them, and then we'll take from there, and we'll see who really can and start it from their team. How can we explain a project experience when we don't have any? So build a project experience. Why are you worried? We have so many projects going on. Build it. I'm not saying fake it. I'm not saying lie. I'm saying build it. 4 years ago, I didn't have a great opportunity to do live projects, team. Today I do. Atomic 77, all of these different initiatives that we're doing, we're focusing on that. Will you take interviews for JPACT members to become intern for AnyAUT Peach? I'll not myself take interviews, team, but then what we will do is we will have you start off on AnyAUT Peach. Some of you could be slow runners, and that is fine. And I'm accepting that. Some of you could be highly skilled, but lack of time. We'll balance it. End of the day, we'll continue to observe how people are passionate, committed, are able to spend time because of whatever constraints, with all due respect, and then keep continue to involve them, or just ignore them. So we don't need an interview for that. If you're part of a training, you should be good enough. Automation experience, what is wrong? Why are you so hung up about experience? See, you're saying you're hungry. And I'm telling you, I have an apple, I have a soup, I have a biryani for you. What are you still worried? We have manual testing project, mobile app testing project, automation testing projects. I think you are closing your eyes, you are ignoring, you are accepting to get that pain. That is the reason. There is no problem that you have. I'm not taking your name, I'll just use the initials. DS. You don't have any problem. You have the perfect solution right in front of your eyes. Accept what I'm saying, go with it. Believe how you'll transform in the next 30 to 60 days. Okay, next one. I feel on a project I have nothing to offer due to lack of confidence. Same answer to you, HH. Same answer to you. And I've seen you in almost all my sessions so far. You were a constant member. You were someone who always replied and answered and so on. Come on. If I'm not building confidence in you, I'm failing as a guru, not you as a student. So please don't fail me. All right? Start. Confidence will come. Don't try hard. Just follow the protocol. Follow what I'm saying. Go with blind belief and trust. Just listen to what I'm saying and follow it. You don't need anything more. That's just my confidence that is speaking, team. Is it a prerequisite to have completed SLP to become an intern, or is it fine if we just completed training? That's fine. Project also, if it didn't work, no problem. You can treat this as a project. Okay. I'm interested to be an intern on Peach version. Sure, Jay. Can we work remotely to be part of any development? Absolutely, because even I have to work remotely now. I can't be in Hyderabad. I can't be in LA always. So if you're in Hyderabad or in LA, we can work from our office. If you're not in one of these places, you can work from anywhere you are. And that is where discipline comes. Especially work from home requires a lot of discipline, team. Will be very critical, but what you will do as part of this project, learning, challenges, experience will be phenomenal. Okay. Um, Hi, I'm S from India, participant in your webinar. Phone number. Okay. I don't know why I need your number. Will be the internship paid or unpaid? I will not pay you. You show me why I should pay you. I will, because I'm already doing it. I will continue to pay. My vision is to get 500 AnyAUT certified testers and developers as full-time employees in the next 2.5 years. If I need to achieve my vision, I have to pay them. I've already started paying many of them. Many of them. I don't have to take the number. So how do I pay them? You show me you are capable. Then absolutely, why not? Because we'll get big funding right now for the AnyAUT product and vision and so on. Can we get to listen this session again and again? It gives, okay, sure. It'll be on YouTube. We'll put it there. Absolutely. Why not we? Can I get visa by learning your lessons? Can I get visa by learning your lessons? Um, how do I answer it? It won't be a short answer, so I'll keep it different. No, you won't get. You'll get visa by blessing. But how do you get blessed? By working hard, showing to God that yes, I'm capable. Then maybe you'll get visa. All right, so I'll take last few questions. I don't have any hands raised. If anyone wants to speak, I'll be glad to unmute you. You can speak, team. There's another question from RS. Karthik, your sessions was motivating that once the sessions are over, I feel very enthusiastic. But slowly that fire is taken over by other commitments. Can you please provide some guidelines on how to proceed, keep ourselves motivated and be successful? Wow. RS, for this, how do I answer? I know it is motivating. And then, in fact, this challenge is there even when I come to India, my team feels very motivated, highly motivated. They're performing at a supreme level. Then, as soon as they leave, there's a sudden dip in it. I have not found a solution for it. Motivation should be not taken as a dependency. You see one small motivation video, it should be inspired. You delete that video. You don't have to keep going back to that video each time you want to be motivated. Motivation should be a one-time thing, and then should be implementation of what you've seen automatically. All right. So don't think that as long as sessions are going or as long as I'm speaking, the motivations are high and then it goes low. Don't be dependent too much on it, please. It should be more as a free flowing thought and vision once you've got that motivation. All right. And best way sometimes is to go back and listen to some of the videos like today's or someone else who's doing similar talks, please. All right. There's a question from MM. I'm advanced Selenium team member, have development experience, ready to work from Woodland Hills location. Wow, perfect. MM, let's start next week. Really excellent explanation. Thank you, ST. Yes, thanks a lot. Okay, how to retrieve the link for yesterday QTP session? Very simple. And I think go to itlearn.com/webinars or go to youtube.com/qtpelearn. Why is it QTPelearn? Because that was my first YouTube channel. That is still more popular than my ITeLearn channel. That's where we publish all our videos, team. M question. I attend one of your session preparation for interview. After that, I attended one interview. Normally, I'm so scared, but after the training, I said I spoke more than the interviewer, and I'm able to go well and got the job. Wow, so inspirational. Thank you. So, end of the day, there's only one thing, two things, team, that really motivate or pump me. One is a bad feedback, and I tell my team members that only when there's a bad feedback, tell me. If there's a good feedback, don't tell me. Or two is when someone has achieved career success because of it. That's very motivational. Thank you. MB, I'm ready to work as an intern. Let me know when to start. Yep, sure. We'll communicate. All right. I just have one hand raised. I'm going to unmute you. Yes, you can try and speak up if you have something to add to us or a question. And I'm somehow not able to unmute you. I don't know why. And I think we're towards the end of all the questions and comments. I already paid for QTP videos. Can I join live training now? Yeah, QTP live training, absolutely, Shweta. And even if you're joining QTP, I will not leave you away from being part of AnyAUT team. Because AnyAUT, I need 500 people to be full-time employed. We need 10,000 consultants. That's when the vision of Verkasa will be true. So I am more looking for committed individuals like you than others. Sorry, I took your name. I thought I'll just written initials. I also ready to work as intern. Please consider me. Sure, I'll do that. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being part of the session. I really hope it at least gives you one thing to change in life. I don't mean that it should drastically change. One thing take away from this session and try and do it in your life. I'll feel blessed. It's the best reward back to me. I'll take the last one and then end the session, team. KS, I'm currently managing the automation team. Though I do not have knowledge on UFT, I'm asked to learn. Is that easy to start on UFT with the free videos available in the site? Absolutely easy. KS, more than you can just watch the free videos, it's enough starting. But it's not enough to become an automation engineer or to head an automation team. So you need to take that call. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for participating. Take care and see you back in a future session. Thank you all. Bye now.